Sister Dr. Patience to play our signature tune. Over to you, and please, as you're watching and listening to it, let us watch the images that have been carefully crafted by our own very brother who is always supporting everywhere and anywhere, Dr. Derek. Over to you, Sister P.
ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE, the future of internet.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
ONPASSIVE, the future of internet. Stand clear the closing doors, please. Thank you so much for that lovely, lovely, amazing images of the women all over universally that Dr. Derek was able to put together in that song for us. We truly appreciate you, Dr. Derek, and all that you do to empower the women who are in this forum and other forums that you support as well. At this stage, we're moving over to the mindset, and our CEO has promised us the physical, and we're going to work on the mental. And that mental mindset today, it will be provided by our one and only Dr. Tunishai, who is going to talk to us about you've got the one to get the one. And I'll give you a little bit about who she is. And before I start, I have a quote for each of our speakers today. And for her, I have, do the best. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And that is by Maya Angelou. We all know who Maya Angelou is, so I do not even have to explain anything about who she is. She is one of the great women in our lives, or was in our lives. So Dr. T is an international transformational speaker. She is a life coach, an empowerment trainer, a former TV talk show host, educator, and author of 4 books. And I'll just share some of her books with you. In case you are in a bookstore, you're trying to inspire yourself, you know who the author is in advance. This is a comma in your life, not a period. I miss the hugs, but not the hurts. The spirit in you. And the 4th book is Taking Control of Your Life from the Inside Out. Dr. T won Women of the Year Award from the National Association of Professional Women for year 2010 to 2011. And recently in 2022, she was awarded the Game Changers Award presented by Elite Sports and Entertainment and Comerica Bank. To learn more about Dr. Ford, please visit her website at www.drtford.com. To find about her workshops, all of that will be available there. She is a great trainer, and she's going to train us about our mindsets today. Welcome, Queen Dr. T.
It said that I was unable to unmute. I apologize. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brand ambassadors, kings and queens of ONPASSIVE. Welcome. Thank you all so much for allowing me to share today. Now I'm going to do something a little different. Now I know that Queen Debbie put a title out there, but you all know I already did that particular message. So I have another message for you, and I hope that's okay. I think that you will enjoy it. But let me get started, because again, I am so honored and privileged to be here, because I know that all of you want your best life now. And we're getting ready to celebrate a day that every day should be Women's Day. Every day should be International Women's Day, because we just make such a great impact all over the world. So as we celebrate International Women's Day, we must think about the generations of young women that will be coming behind us as wives, mothers, community leaders, educators, entrepreneurs, politicians, and possibly to hold the highest office of all, the President of the United States and other countries as well. We are raising our children in a world that points to all kinds of strong, secular women who are role models for our girls. Some of them are good, and some of them are not good. But nevertheless, our youth are highly influenced by them. Now, I strongly believe that if we are going to commemorate this day, we should first examine and put into practice what a successful woman in modern days looks like based on her character and spiritual qualities, and not her notoriety. If we are going to lead and be an example to our youth, especially our girls, we must become the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman. She is not perfect, but she lives her life authentically, ready to serve, lead, and teach the next generation of greatness. So my title tonight is being an example to our youth by being the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman. And by this example, there is no limit. There is no limit to what women can accomplish with God. How about that? I believe there's no woman more attractive, more honorable, and worthy of accolades than a godly woman, a God-fearing woman. And note this, beside every God-fearing, successful man is a God-fearing woman. She's a wife. She might be a wife, his mother, grandmother, sister, or aunt, but she is a powerful influence. She is the backbone of every bit of the success in her family. And never underestimate, never ever underestimate the power of a woman. She can make or break a person and a nation, which is why it is important that women stand behind the power of God in all that we do. And when this happens, there is no limit to what women can do with God. I will say that again. There is no limit to what women can do with God. Now, I have a few quotes that I found that I think is befitting for the occasion. Now, some of these people, you may know who they are. You may have heard of them, and others you may not. But I thought that the quotes will be appropriate for what we're doing right now. The first quote is by Pastor Toni Evans. And he says, "The kingdom woman is not a perfect woman, but she is a transforming woman." That's powerful. The next one by Michelle Obama. And she says, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." And the third quote I want to quote for you all guys is from a lady by the name of Miss Holly Girth. She's a Wall Street Journal best-selling author, life coach, and podcaster. And this is what she says: "The enemy tricks us into believing we are not good enough because he knows if we discover the truth, we'll be unstoppable, ladies. If we discover the truth about who we really are, we will be unstoppable." That's powerful. And the last quote that I want to share with you tonight is by Amy Tenney. She's an attorney who works with nonprofit organizations, and she writes policies for refugees. And this is what she states: "The world needs strong women who would lift and build others, who would love and be loved, women who live bravely, both tender and fierce, women that are strong, brave, and impossible to defeat." Those are some powerful quotes, aren't they? Powerful quotes, and I wanted to share those with you. If we are going to lead our youth, especially the girls, here are the attributes. I'm going to call them superpowers. We have superpowers, ladies. If we're going to lead our youth, we're going to have these attributes of the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman. And these are the attributes that we must pass on. We must possess them ourselves, and we must pass them on to our youth. Okay, let me give you a special note. I want to read this. This is very powerful. The biblical Proverbs 31 woman, she seemed to be out of reach. I mean, she was perfect. This woman was perfect in every single way. But the Proverbs, the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman is far from being perfect. In her marital status, she could be a wife with children. She could be single, a single mom, or she might even be a divorcee. But what they all have in common is this: a goal to shine God's love and principles to the world through their actions, their thoughts, and deeds. And by displaying these 12 attributes, the 12 superpowers I want to share with you tonight, and preparing the next generation to do the same. I'm going to share with you now the 12 superpowers of the 21st century Proverbs 31 women that we're going to pass on to our youth. The first superpower is faith. Faith, ladies. That's our first superpower, faith. She loves God with all her heart, and she seeks his will for her life and the following of his leading. She's a praying woman, and she exercises spiritual authority. First superpower, faith. The second superpower, she values the institution of marriage, ladies. A Proverbs 21st century Proverbs 31 woman is a woman that values the institution of marriage. She's a faithful wife. She respects and honors and submits to her husband. She is trustworthy. She has a trustworthy helpmeet. And if she's single, she understands that she is married to God. And she does not want to engage in extramarital affairs. She's not into adultery because she respects the marriage institution so much that she would never do anything to destroy someone else's marriage. Number two, she values the institution of marriage. The third superpower, mothering. Whether she's married or single, her children call her blessed because she's a great mom. She teaches her children the way of God. She nurtures her children with the love of God. And she is a mother figure to others who are not even her own because she has a mothering spirit and a mothering demeanor. The fourth superpower, and we talk about this all the time, health. She takes care of herself. She takes care of herself physically, mentally, and spiritually. She cares for her body, and she also cares for the body of her family. She fixes nutritious meals for them. She makes sure that they avoid as much stress as possible. And when it comes down to spiritual things, she teaches them to look up and acknowledge God for their health. So our fourth superpower, ladies, is health, physically, mentally, and spiritually. The fifth superpower is service. She serves others with love and kindness. She serves her husband, her family, her friends, and her neighbors. She is active in her place of worship, and she's also active in her community. Her whole life is around service because she's going by the example that Jesus Christ set for us, to become a servant, to find a need and meet that need by servitude. And that's her fifth superpower, ladies. She serves. And the sixth superpower is stewardship. She is wise. She's a wise steward of the gifts and resources God has given her. She spends her money wisely, and she purchases things at a discount, but she buys quality things. She doesn't buy cheap stuff. She finds discounts, she finds bargains, but she finds quality things for her family. And she knows how to save and invest. She's a good steward over the resources that God has given her. The seventh superpower is entrepreneurship. She's an industrialist. Entrepreneurship. She creates products and understands how to create services to meet the needs of the community and her family. And she knows how to sell her products to bring in money for her family. She's an entrepreneur. She understands that it's okay to have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not putting down 9-to-5 jobs, but here's the woman that knows how to take it a step further. In addition to working 9-to-5, if that's what she chooses to do, she finds things to do with her hands. She finds things to do where she can bring an extra income to meet the needs of her home. The eighth one, which is so important, this is one area that I believe a lot of our youth are not being taught. The eighth superpower, ladies, is homemaking. She's a homemaker. She is a good manager of her home. She is a good housekeeper. She's clean and tidy. She keeps a clean and tidy atmosphere. And she even teaches her children how to cook. There are so many young people who are very gifted and talented, and they're not even learning how to cook or keep their rooms clean. They just come in, do what they need to do on that phone all the time, whatever they're doing, but they're not learning how to be tenders of the home. But one of our attributes and one of our superpowers as women, 21st century Proverbs 31 women, is to teach our kids how to be homemakers, because she also creates an environment of warmth and love for her family and guests. The number 9 superpower, time management skills. She has time management skills. She spends her time on those things that are a priority. She sets realistic goals for the day, and she diligently completes her daily task. Time management skills. That's another thing we need to teach our youth. Time management skills. And the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman knows how to properly manage her time. Number 10 superpower, true beauty. True beauty. She is concerned about her inner and outer beauty, not just adorning the outside like so many women do. There's so many women who adorn the outside. They look good on the outside, but they don't take care of the character. They don't think about the inner beauty. I have seen so many women. This is an example I can share with you, and I'm pretty sure you all are aware of this. A lot of you may have seen a woman who may not be the most attractive woman, but she has the most beautiful personality. And she has a wonderful man on her side. You may say, what does he see in her? He's looking at the inner beauty. That's what he sees. Then you may see a woman who seemingly has it all going all together. She's beautiful on the outside, the hair, the figure, the clothes on just right. But she has a very, very nasty disposition, because that's a woman who thinks it's more important to look nice on the outside than it is on the inside. So the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman, she is very concerned about every area, her inner and her outer beauty. She's well groomed, she's fashionable, but she's very modest in her appearance. Number 11 superpower, humility. She does not seek to bring attention to herself. She is attentive to others without seeking praises. She is very comfortable behind the scenes, although she can assume a leadership position. And oftentimes I have found that when a woman is humble, it seems like that's the kind of woman that God wants to exalt. And when God does exalt her, she goes right up to the plate and she takes her place and she fulfills what she's supposed to be doing in the earth. And I found that to be true. Humility is a very powerful superpower, especially for women. When a woman is humble, when she humbles herself before God, God wants to exalt her and show her off to the world. And I know that to be true. And the last superpower that I want to share with you all is she's disciplined. The 21st century Proverbs 31 woman is disciplined. Staying disciplined to the calling that's on her life. She sets realistic goals to achieve her dream. She avoids distractions like toxic relationships, and she seeks God for her guidance. Those are the 12 superpowers of the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman. I'm going to go over them again. I know a lot of times I do a recap, so I'm going to go over them again for you. Number 1 superpower is faith. Number 2 superpower is she values the institution of marriage. Number 3, she's mothering. Number 4, she's concerned about her health and the health of her family. Number 5, she appreciates service. Number 6 is stewardship. 7, entrepreneurship. Number 8, she's a homemaker. Number 9, time management skills. And number 10, true beauty. Number 11, humility. And number 12, she's disciplined. By displaying and teaching these qualities to our youth, we can create a generation that values life with godly values. Many have dropped the ball in so many areas. Let's stop allowing those women with ungodly values to influence our girls. We are living in perilous times, but there is still hope. I said there is still hope. If we as godly women begin and continue to exemplify the 21st century Proverbs 31 woman, we can transform the mindset of our girls as they begin to pave the way for the generations to come. Thank you very much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you. Thank you. I could not add anything. I know I gave you Maya Angelou today, but you did much more than Maya Angelou did in her life. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Superpowers. All right now.
Thank you. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to call on Dr. Sister Patience to give us a tune by all women's to commemorate this International Women's Day. And this is a group from the other side of the continent. Everything is coming from international. So Over to you, Dr. Sister P.
All across the nations, all around the world, women are longing to be free, no longer in the shadows, forced to stay behind, but side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out loud for justice and development and hold the rights of other people high. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Women now are working to build a better world where the love of peace can rest on every shore, where men lay down their weapons and learn to love and share, and people work to bring an end to war. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace.
Woohoo! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Dr. Sister P. Thank you. Very much appreciated. All right, we're moving to the next item of the evening, and I'm going to call on Queen Miriam. Queen Miriam is going to give us an update, and this update is coming from the corporate webinar that we had a couple of days ago. So over to you, Queen Miriam.
All right, and happy International Women's Month to all our precious ladies, and thank all the men coming to celebrate with us. And as I pull this up to share with you, okay. In the light of the aspiring women entrepreneurs and associations globally who are eager to lead the world of digitalization in emancipating a holistic approach, we look forward to your positive response and participation in our upcoming event. Hearing from industry leaders, businesswomen, decision makers, and entrepreneurs, their successful stories of using, managing, and investing in technology, networking, and meeting high-level global delegations, business, and investment opportunities in the UAE. Shaping of business under the UAE digital landscape, fostering women entrepreneurial and digital skills, insights about metaverse, Web 3.0, crypto and blockchain technology, digital transformation on business post-COVID, access to financial capital, to do digital investment in business. World Woman Entrepreneur Summit, March 10th to March 12th, Abu Dhabi. Please register at https://www.es.ae. Be there. You will be happy you join them in Abu Dhabi. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Miriam. Thank you. Thank you. Very much appreciate it. Now we're going to move to our next queen. And the quote I have for her is by Margaret Thatcher. Plan your work for today and every day. Then work your plan. Margaret Thatcher. And the person who is coming up next is Queen Yasmin. She has a degree in global politics and international relations. She's a certified translator and interpreter with Mainstream Freelancer. She works as a freelancer and consultant with the Royal Voluntary Services, Somali Positive Group. Without further ado, please, let's welcome Queen Yasmin.
Thank you, all beautiful ladies. I'm privileged to be here, and a special thanks to our King, Dr. Derek, bring us all together into this platform, and all the gentlemen who are celebrating with us around the globe. Thank you very much. I would like to share a little presentation on this occasion, and this is special for me because for such long time, more than around 25 years I'm here, I have never been celebrated as this on the Women's Day. So it's so privileged to me. So as we are a global brand ambassadors, I will be sharing with you few women to give my respect on this occasion. So happy International Women's Day to everyone. Dear all, today on International Women's Day, we celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women around the world. It's a day to recognize the incredible contribution that women have made to the society, and the honor, the courage, the strength of women who have fought for gender equality and human rights. Divine Inequality, International Women's Day is a day to celebrate achievements of women and raise awareness about ongoing struggle for gender equality. Collaboration among women is essential for bringing about positive change and progress towards gender equality. And on this occasion, as a brand ambassadors, I'm so overwhelmed to have a powerhouse, even without, ONPASSIVE change, bonding us together globally is a different thing. It's priceless. Working towards inclusion, there are many ways in which women can collaborate to affect change into International Women's Day and beyond. Here are some examples. Also, we have to adapt, and also we are doing good, but we can go to the extra mile. Mentorship and networking, women can collaborate by mentoring each other and sharing knowledge and skills. Advocacy and activism, women can make together to advocate for policy changes that promote gender equality and to raise awareness about issues affecting women. This could involve organizing protests, lobbying politicians, and using social media, as we have got also a platforms, technology, and we are also going to the extra mile with ONPASSIVE as a woman and globally. Spread awareness about important issues, because all the countries we represent, women are struggling in political issues or economic, or also offering, to empower them. Education, training, women can collaborate by sharing resources, expertise to help other women, as we are doing right now, to develop the skills and knowledge they need to succeed. Develop the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in their career. This could involve creating training programs, because almost we are 1.5+ million, and it's up to us to uplift women, work together and network. Offering workshops, webinars, and providing mentorship and guidance. Business and entrepreneurships, women can collaborate to support each other in starting and growing their own businesses. This could involve sharing resources, offering mentorship, support, and even creating partnership to launch new ventures. That's what the part I like. Women can collaborate to build strong and supportive communities where women can thrive. This could involve creating social groups, organizing, reaching out to other women to offer support and encouragement. Overall, collaboration among women is crucial for affecting change on International Women's Day and beyond. By working together, women can build a more equitable and just a world where women can thrive. I just like to bring Sojourner Truth, who was a fearless and fought for gender and racial equality. What change you will be part of? What legacy are we going to leave? And what effort are we going to input to change the world, as we are a global movement and we have this platform togetherness? In 1828, she became the first Black woman to win a custody court battle and was able to recover her son from slavery. At the Ohio Women's Rights Convention, 1851, Truth delivered a speech titled Anti-Woman. That means a lot. Being a woman is a whole world. That stirred hearts and became widely told during the Civil War era. Truth was fearless in her fight for racial equality. Also, I would like to present you, as we are also from different countries, and this was very special to me because I never had the privilege to participate with my identity more than 25 years. So this was a very special opportunity, and I also appreciate you giving me this platform. This is Hawatako. She is very well known in my country, and she has a statue in my country when we were growing up. Hawatako, also known as Hawatako, was a political activist who has a symbolic of Somali nationalism, and she has been also died having her child on the back while she was protesting against slavery time. She was one of the Somali Youth League, and sadly her history has not been published because that time Somalis were not writing, and up to now a lot of her background is unknown, but she has been given this privilege to have its statue into my country. This is also Edna Adan Ismail. Edna Adan Ismail was born in Hargeisa, British Somaliland, because Somalia has been divided into southern part and the northern part, where the southern part has been colonized by Italians and the northern part by the British. On 1937, the daughter of a prominent Somali medical doctor, she was one of the 5 children born to her mother, but 2 died at the time of delivery. At that time, girls were not educated in Somaliland, but her father hired a tutor for some local boys. She learned to read and write with them. She later went to school in Djibouti, where her aunt was a teacher. When she was 8 years old, she underwent FGM, which is a very big problem in some sort of countries still up to today. It was arranged by her mother and her grandmother when her father was on a business trip. When he returned, he was furious, wanting to prevent the other women from undergoing the same trauma she did. She did train as a nurse midwife in the United Kingdom at the Borough of Polytechnica, now known London South Bank University. She later on married a politician man who became the Somaliland president.
Mm.
Edna has also succeeded in her retirement time right now in Somaliland to establish a hospital, maternity hospital, and also train girls, more than 5,000 girls, to be midwife. Edna, also she has Edna University Hargeisa. In 1980, Ismail began building hospital in Somaliland, capital of Hargeisa, but was forced to leave the country due to the beginning of the Civil War in 1981. She returned to Somaliland and built from scratch a maternity hospital, with her patient funds, which she continues to run. Then Edna Maternity Hospital officially opened on the 9th of March, 2002. The land was been donated by the government and formerly used as a rubbish dump. The region lacked trained nurses to staff the hospital, as most of her either fled the country or been killed during the Civil War. So Edna recruited more than 30 candidates and began training them in 2000 while her hospital was still under construction. The hospital now has 2 operating theaters, library, computer centers, and complete wing dedicated to training nurses and midwives. As of 2018, the hospital had 200 staff and 1,500 students and is still in operational. The mission of Edna Aden Hospital is to help improve the health of the local inhabitants, in particular the high rate of maternal and infant mortality. The facility is non-profit, making charity and midwifery teaching hospital. Today, she has more than 5,000 girls who have been trained with scholarships overseas. Also, she has, Ismail was been recipient of Amanati 2000 annual award for her efforts to open a private maternity hospital in Somalia. In the recognition of her lifelong contribution to humanitarian work, the name of Edna Aden Ismail was awarded to Medical Mission Hall of Fame, University of Toledo, Ohio, in March 2007. She has an honorary doctorate degree from Clark University in Massachusetts. She was made an honorary fellow of Cardiff University, Wales. All this is her success. And today, she is also the head of the UNPO, which is underrepresented nations and people organization, has elected in their General Assembly as a president. And Edna has been called the Muslim Mother Teresa by the Kate Grant, CEO of the Fistula Foundation. So women can be sisters, mothers, and they are beautiful in every sort or every situation they are in. Today, we are so, honored to participate all women around the globe. We build houses. We also produce everything from house to engineering sites and keeping houses and families. Women are beautiful. Thank you and happy International Women's Day to all of you.
You just said it all. Wow, that was amazing, Sister Yasmin. Now we're learning about women internationally, not just in one place. Where else can you go but on ONPASSIVE Forum to learn about that? History classes do not teach our children such stories about how powerful international women are. ONPASSIVE $97 has provided us with this forum. We are very honored. I just want to give a special shout out to everyone who has joined us since we started. We love you all. We thank you and we're glad to have you here. We have a lot of leaders who are here with us and we acknowledge your presence. And with that, I'll move to our one and beautiful voice that we heard at the beginning of this session. Her name is Queen Lerato, and I'm giving her the quote that I have for her is from Dr. Wangari Maathai, who was fighting for Karura Forest. She's Kenyan, and she says, human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. These are things you fight for, and then you protect them. And who is Sister Lerato? Queen Lerato is a singer, songwriter, and vocal coach. Queen Lerato has a diploma and a software specialist. She worked for Sony Music in South Africa. She signed artists at Gallo BMG and signed artists at David Gresham Records. She is theater performance artist for the Broadway musical The Lion King Germany, Kamepo, and Vienna. I know I didn't pronounce it the German way properly. Yeah, I can see you shaking your head. And Queen Lerato toured Europe with different musicals and world-renowned gospel choirs. Currently, she's working on self-releasing her own music. She is a mother of two, wonderful voice, and married to a producer and songwriter, Mr. Abula Shadare. Please, let's welcome our sister, Queen Shadare.
Sister Debbie. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. You look so beautiful. And I just want to acknowledge every woman here. You are all beautiful. You are such a gift, and I want you to know that. Thank you to Dr. Derek and all the men that are supporting us today. My voice is still not 100%. So if it's breaking, you're going to have to just excuse me. I'll just repeat my words.
So thank you so much also to Dr. T. Her presentation was outstanding. Sister Yasmin, it was so beautiful what you just did. Everything up to so far, it's really beautiful. And thank you for inviting me. And do you want me to talk particularly about the quote that you quoted, or I can talk about anything else? I can't hear you, Sister David. You're muted.
It's your right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and talk about what you want from your heart. The quote was just to introduce you from your heart.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. So, I mean, as beautiful as we are as women, you know, we bring light into everything. And when we are centered in ourselves and we know who we are, we bring so much value into everything. Dr. T said it very well, and she said that when you're a woman of value, you add value to everything. And she mentioned all these things that makes, you know, a woman virtuous, so to say. And as we do all this fabulousness and we do this wonderful things, I just want to talk to women about also celebrating themselves. Yes, we're celebrating Women's Day, but we hardly celebrate ourselves individually. What do I mean by that, right? We are naturists naturally. We take care of everybody, but then we're the last ones to take care of ourselves, you know? So, and what do I mean by that? I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day and she said that she went out shopping. She initially went out to shop for a bra, right? Which is something that she needs. By the time she got to the mall, she shopped for everybody else. She didn't even bring one thing for herself, right? And then when I know, I saw this was cute for my brother. Oh, I saw this. And I'm like, no, take the time to celebrate yourself and also invest in yourself as a woman. Put the time, book yourself a spa date, book yourself a vacation. I always tell my my friends too is that most of I enjoy spending time with my family, but I also love my quality time where I can pour into myself, because you cannot give what you don't have, right? If you're not balanced, you cannot bring balance into anything. So we need to balance ourselves and take care of ourselves. Dr. T said it too. It's like you have to take care of your health. Yes, we take care of our health, to take care of the family. But, because we do so many things, we multitask and we spread ourselves. Sometimes we spread ourselves too thin. So I want you to take time, make dates with yourself. I sometimes go to a restaurant and enjoy eating by myself. I don't have to have anybody there to enjoy my quality time. Go on to a spa. Yes, I like spending time with women and we, with friends and everything. But sometimes I just go on a vacation by myself. And it's one of the best times because then I can introspect, I can meditate. I set my own time, right? I set my own time and I enjoy myself. Spend time with yourself and check in with yourself so you can be balanced, right? So as much as we are all these wonderful things, if we don't take care of ourselves, then there won't be, all these wonderful things will be for naught because we won't be there to celebrate it. All right. So please, this is my plea. I see it happening all over the place. You see women pushing hard, doing multitasking, doing everything. And then at the end of the day, we don't get to enjoy what we invest in so much. You won't get to enjoy your children. If you're spreading yourself thin and you are not taking care of yourself, you won't, be there to enjoy everything else that you're working hard for. So please take care of yourself, spend time, spend on yourself. The last time I was talking about prosperity, I was talking also about investing and doing the things that you like and investing in yourself, right? And everything that you want is within your reach and you deserve it. You deserve to have what you want to have. Don't look at, if I buy this, then what are this gonna do? No, yes, of course we have to budget for everything, but sometimes you just have to be, extravagant with yourself and spend on yourself and enjoy it and don't feel guilty, right? As much as we learn about financial literacy, you don't want to be in debt or anything, but be extravagant with yourself and enjoy your life. Because your life, as much as we are a mother, we are a wife, we are all these things, at the end of the day, our life is for living and enjoy it. Just you, for the purpose of you, as being a woman. Just enjoy it and enjoy your womanhood, enjoy yourself and enjoy your life, right? So I'm just talking to all of us here to say, the apples are coming. Everything that we've been waiting for, abundance is coming. So make sure that abundance that is coming, you plan yourself very well in it. As much as we're thinking about our families and everything else, plan yourself well. If you wake up and feel like you want to go to Bora Bora, please go. Okay? Please go. Plan yourself well into that abundance. As much as we're thinking about our families and everything else, plan yourself very well into that abundance. Don't forget yourself. Do not forget yourself. So thank you so much, Sister Davy, for this time. That's all I want to say. My voice is not 100%, but that's all I want to say, ladies, invest in yourself, invest in your own happiness and fulfillment, and enjoy your life as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Lerato Shadare Prosperity. We're so grateful that regardless of the time, you're still awake, hanging out with us. It's about 2 a.m. your time almost, or 1:15 a.m. and you're still awake just to do that, and your voice is almost disappearing. But this is a dedication that ONPASSIVE does to us, right? We appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much for sticking around for this very much. All right, we're moving to our next queen.
Queen Debbie.
Who is going to share with us. And I decided to assign her one of my favorites. And the quote is from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm sure it's a handful of name, but Adichie, if you read and you listen and you watch, you'll know who she is. And Adichie says, I have chosen to no longer be apologetic for my femaleness and my femininity. And I want to be respected in all of my femaleness because I deserve to be. So Sister Irene, Queen Irene, as we call her, is a daughter of the Most High God, originally from Cameroon and currently residing in the US. She is a nurse working as a researcher nurse specialist in oncology. She loves to help others regain their health after falling sick. More so, she enjoys to find a cure, hopefully soon, for cancer. Serving God means the world to her. Queen Irene is a mother of 4 and 3 grandchildren. Please, let's hear from one of our international speakers. And Queen Irene, over to you, sis.
Oh, thank you very much, Queen Debbie. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, your time. Greetings from Maryland in the United States of America. Celebrating Women's History Month. Do you know it is the entire month that is being set aside to celebrate women? And happy International Women's Day. Wow. Like Queen Debbie said, I am a research nurse. And being a nurse, I want us to celebrate this day, celebrating Women's Day by celebrating women and health. I do agree with Dr. T earlier when she said every day should be Women's Day. And so with that said, I also want to appreciate all the men, especially in the house here, who have been there to support, mentor, and uplift women. So celebrating women and health, that is kind of quite a broad topic, but I'm just going to summarize it and just say a few things, not much about health, because it will take me a whole day. So women generally are the backbone of the community, taking the lead day in, day out to care for family, friends, and neighbors, while contending with the weight of parenting, cost of childhood, and the scourge of sexism, including pay disparities. We all know that. In the health field, from doctors to nurses to social workers and early childhood educators, women are often the backbone of our health. One of the top priorities for women is to eradicate the racial, gender, economic barrier that makes it hard for women and girls, especially women and girls of color, to access health care. So women and health. Challenges in accessing health or accessing health care places women worldwide at an increased risk of maternal health, behavioral health, reproductive health, foster care, or domestic violence. I mean, I can go on and on. But women are not relenting their efforts to expand access to care, to lower health care costs and decrease disparities. So there is hope. Why is there hope? Because we see many women in leadership positions in the government and across the healthcare system championing these challenges. So with that said, what are some of the health tips that we need for women? We encourage us women to have a primary health care provider. So don't just jump from one healthcare provider to another. You know, today you are in urgent care, the next day you are in a clinic or whatever. Have a primary healthcare provider who knows you and see that same provider all the time for your health needs. Someone who knows you. So if that healthcare provider has been giving you amlodipine for your high blood pressure, and they see that it's not working, they can switch to something else. But when you jump from one healthcare person to another, they don't know, they can't keep track of what you have taken and what can work. Do all your required checkups regularly and consistently. So checkups like your mammograms, breast exams. Please do your breast exams monthly. And, you know, we are encouraged to do it for those who are still, you know, as in the childbearing age. It's good to do it just before or during your menstrual periods when there's hormonal changes. At that time, you know, your breast tissues can be doing stuff and you can easily detect stuff. Do your pap smears yearly, colonoscopy when the time comes, check your blood pressure, and many other, you know, ill healths that you need to address. Take care of yourself. Eat healthy, a balanced diet. Avoid takeouts and pre-packaged meals. I know sometimes we're busy and we can't cook, but do that sparingly, you know, because those takeouts and the pre-packaged meals are not very healthy. Maintain a healthy weight. So obesity increases poor health. Drink lots of water. They recommend at least 8 glasses per day. Exercise regularly, at least 30 minutes a day and at least 3 days a week. You can do more than that. 2 hours, 1 hour, but 30 minutes is recommended. Have a good night's sleep. 7 to 8 hours is good. You can do more than that. Address your mental health. What does that mean? You know, stay stress-free, do not be anxious for nothing, avoid burnouts, and make time for you. So our very own sister Lerato told us that, how to make time for ourselves, celebrate ourselves. Take your medications as prescribed. So if you have any of those chronic illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, take your medicines as prescribed. Because when you don't, these things bring other complications and it even makes it more difficult to, you know, manage them. Also note that aging increases the risk of developing severe diseases such as cancers, cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, diabetes, you name it. Preventive tips. Like I said, this is something that if I have to talk about it, I can go all day. So I'm just giving you like the top important things that you need to do. Maybe we'll have to find time to talk about women's health and we can deal more. So preventive health, there is a saying that prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. So you better prevent having that illness than having it and then be struggling to cure it. Early detection eases treatment. It increases treatment success and reduces complications. So for someone who they quickly diagnosed with cancer that is localized, it's easy to treat it. And success in healing that cancer is higher than when that cancer has grown big, spread to other parts of the body. It makes it more difficult, challenging, and probably it might not be cured. One of the tips is, and it's very important, is to know your body. Know your body and take seriously any unusual changes. For example, you need to look at your skin, know all the marks, the moles that you have on your body, because when you have skin cancer or something is coming new, or even in breast cancer or whatever, you can quickly tell that this part here, this wrinkle, this, never was there. This is something new. So you need to know your body. Listen to your body and respond accordingly. So when you're tired and your body says they need rest, give your body rest. If you need a nap, take a nap. If you're hungry, you need a snack, take a snack. If you're working and you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. I'm telling you this, like nurses will hold pee all day. By the time you're running to the bathroom, your bladder is hurting. Well, that is not very good, because by the time you start turning to the other side of life, you'll have issues that you will not believe. So like I said, early detection is good. And because I work in oncology, I'm going to talk about just maybe 3 common women cancers. So we know about breast cancer. And so early detection is good. That early detection can be, can only occur if you do yourself breast exams and know how your breast tissue feels. There are some people that their breast is lumpy, they have already some discoloration on their breast or whatever. Know what that is as the normal. So when something new comes up, you can quickly tell that this is not there. Didn't used to be there. It's not normal. It's not my usual self. Check your breast daily in front of your mirror. So when you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you take your shower, as you're wiping off your skin and you're, putting lotion on your body, stand in front of the mirror. Just, let your arms hang down and look at how your breast looks like. You can put your arms out and look, you raise your hands up, you look, make sure, because when you're having that, you have, skin changes that sometimes it will look like, the back of orange, you have little dimples. You can squeeze your breast to see, if it's discharging. You just need to know how your breast is. So when something is changing, you can quickly detect that this is not normal. Do your regular mammograms and yearly breast exams by healthcare personnel. So that should be yearly. And they recommend that you start doing those yearly mammograms at age 40. For people who come from families that have the BRCA mutation, this is a genetic mutation that increases your risk of getting breast cancer. It is recommended that you start doing these mammograms and yearly breast exams at age 25. And for those who have a family history of breast cancer. So if you have a mother or a sister or auntie who was diagnosed with breast cancer, or you have to start doing those tests 10 years earlier than that person's age. So if your auntie was diagnosed at age 40, you better start doing these mammograms and breast exams at age 30, 10 years earlier than that family member at the age that they were diagnosed. So that's a little bit of what I'll tell you about breast cancer. Ovarian cancer, very common, difficult to diagnose. And usually by the time they diagnose it, it is advanced. Why is that? Because there are no symptoms in the early stages of the disease. But like I said, if you know your body, you can tell that something is not normal. But the thing is that for us women, we like to brave it. So the vague symptoms that you will get with ovarian cancers are just like bloating. You just feel bloated. You're like, oh, then we'll start thinking that, oh, maybe I'm lactose intolerant or whatever. Bloating, or I ate something, maybe I'm not good with cabbage or spinach or whatever. Do not take those things lightly. This is for women. Maybe men can be saying that, but women, when you start getting that bloating, when you start getting some kind of abdominal discomforts, fullness, you eat a little bit, you feel like you're so full, you're having indigestion, nausea, you have bowel habit changes. So if you're one that you used to go to the bathroom every day, or every other day, and you have form stools, and now you go, one day you have form stools, the next day you have diarrhea, and you cannot explain why, do not take it lightly. You might have some, pelvic discomforts, maybe some abdominal pains, that for us women, we brave it. We don't take, we might take some Tylenol, you might start associating it to something else. No, when you start having these vague symptoms and they continue for maybe a week or so, it is good to see your healthcare physician. Do not brave it. Do not play it down. Do not despise it. Doing that, I mean, it's better you go and they check it and it's nothing than for you to wait until you get up one morning and you put up your skirts and you can't zip it up. Because now, your abdominal girdle has increased because you have ascites, and then you decide to go to the hospital. At that time, it is kind of too late. So when you start having those vague symptoms, get checked. It's better they find nothing than wait until it is so advanced, and then it's difficult to treat. So that's what happens with women. They get up one morning, they can't put their pants on because overnight, this cancer has grown so much, it starts putting out fluid, and then your abdomen is huge, and now you have ascites because now this ovarian cancer now is pouring fluid in your abdomen. And then that's the first time they go to the doctor. And then you go to the doctor and then they send you for second opinion. At that time, it is really like too late. Cervical cancer is a third common cancer in women. Well, not really like third as compared to all the other cancers, but I wanted to just talk about the cancers that are specifically to women. So cervical cancer can actually be prevented completely if we play life safe. It is easy to diagnose, and it can be diagnosed early and can be treated completely, and you are cancer-free from cervical cancer. That requires you to do your yearly physical exam and do your pap smears. In the 21st century, the goal is to eradicate cervical cancer, and that is through the HPV vaccine. So the recommended age for us to give our children, because for us, it's too late for us, women, the recommended age is 11 or 12, but you can give it for up to 26 years. And you can actually start at age 9. And this is for both boys and girls. The goal is to give this vaccine to our children before they are sexually active, before they are colonized by the HPV virus. because it is a virus, believe it or not, it is common. It is probably in most of us, is rampant in the community, and it's easy to, spread from one person to another, sexually transmitted. And so, well, the world has changed so much. You don't know, by age 9, believe it or not, some of our girls are already doing things, and even the boys. And so the goal here is to give this vaccine before they are colonized, because once they have that virus, the virus stays. It's not treated. It's a virus. It just stays there. The good thing is that when you have good, strong immunity, it can keep that virus under control. But when you don't, then, there's a risk of you not having that cervical cancer. So if we can vaccinate our children, early, talk to them about safe sex, that will be a way of actually eradicating cervical cancer. So that is the goal. I'm going to talk a little bit about colon cancer, not because it is a women's cancer, but because this month is also colon cancer month. And also a lot of women are now having colon cancer. So I just wanted to just throw that in there. So screening now starts at age 45. It used to be 50, but now age 45, they are recommending for you to do your colonoscopy. And then the doctor will recommend for you to do repeats every 10 years. If they didn't see anything, if they found something suspicious, you have to repeat that colonoscopy in 5 years. And in between those times, they have a stool test now that they can also easily diagnose colon cancer. So we know how our young actor, Chadwick Boseman, died at age 43. So he didn't even get to the age to start doing colonoscopy. He was diagnosed at age 39 and he died at age 43. So we all know, for the causes of cancer, we don't know what the causes are. They are predisposing conditions that will predispose you to have some of these cancers. But one of the things that I'll talk about is a virus. So for cervical cancer and some of the colon cancers, it is the HPV virus. For breast cancer and for ovarian cancer, it is this mutation that is inherited, and it can be handed down from parents to children to grandchildren. So that BRCA mutation is what increases your risk of developing breast or ovarian cancer. And we know our famous Angelina Jolie, she had to do double mastectomy and also removed her ovaries and uterus because her grandmother, her mother, her auntie, they died from ovarian cancer. When she went to do the test, she realized that she had the BRCA mutation and she had to do all of this. So that is one of the things that increases your risk of having ovarian or breast cancer, and for men too. So if you have that BRCA mutation in the family, the men should also get tested, because men also get breast cancer, and their risk is increased if they have the BRCA mutation. Treatment is, there are lots of treatment today. That is the good news. It used to just become chemotherapy. Today they have chemotherapy. They have drugs that they call small molecules that are not chemotherapy per se. They are mostly cancer directed more to the genes. And we have the immunotherapies that they talk about every day. So all of these, they do help in the treatment of these cancers. So like I said, I can go. I see I'm having a little warning that it's about time for me to go. And so all I can say, my dear women, sisters, that it is not selfish to take care of yourself. Celebrate yourself, because no one else can celebrate you better than you. Surround yourself with people who make positive contribution to your well-being. Make happiness your priority. It is necessary to be happy. And above all, love yourself and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, Queen Irene. That was a handful of health education to celebrate our women today and this week and this month. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Now my quote for our next speaker says, all girls know that they can do anything now. That transformation is to me one of the most satisfying things. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former Liberian president. And our next presenter is Queen Brigitte.
Oh, so that was me? Oh, wow.
So who
Thank
is
you.
Queen Brigitte? She holds a master in chemical engineering with additional courses in pharmacy. She also did music and theater, regulatory compliance and quality professional in the capacity of director RA/QA, senior consultant and senior quality engineer. She's also a certified Agile Scrum Master and self-taught cybersecurity. Queen Brigitte works with medical device, pharmaceuticals, biotech, and health industries, guided companies through remediation, compliance, and regulatory challenges applicable to regulatory bodies as FDA, EU, and Health Canada. Performed a British Airways commercial and was selected to be in a movie with Felicia Rashad, but could not make it. Her philosophy in life is, with love, everything is possible. Love moves mountains because God is love. Without further ado, please, let's welcome our next presenter, Queen Brigitte.
Well, thank you so much. Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can, sis.
Okay, I hope I don't have challenges with the slides as well. Let me try. Okay, thank you, everyone. Welcome to all the women. Welcome to all the men that are here to support us. Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you, Sister Queen Miriam. Thank you, Queen Yasmin, Queen Lerato, and Queen Sister Irene for your presentation. Today, we celebrate you all women. We celebrate us. I salute you, all women of the universe. I celebrate you. Let's all rejoice and be glad because we are women. A woman is nurturing, gentle, resilient, intelligent, and compassionate, and much, much more. Throughout history, women have contributed in various ways in society. Science and technology, health, politics, research, education, homemakers, designers, you name it. As we can see, March 6th to the 17th is the Innovation and Technological Change Education in the Digital Age. That's the theme for the year. I would like to list a few of those women who have made changes in society, just a few, because we can never name them all. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, St. Catherine Drexel, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Lady Diana, Dr. Ellen Ochoa, Oprah Winfrey, Kamala Harris, Mrs. Asmahan Mufareh, Mrs. Hasiba Mufareh. Ada Lovelace was the first computer programmer and visionary. Did any of us knew that the women were the ones that were the pioneers of various things in technology? Women are pioneers. Katherine Johnson with NASA Computer. She was responsible for successfully plotting the flight paths of some of America's earliest space explorer. or exploration. Annie Easley was responsible for the hybrid cars that people drive. She ran simulations at a reactor laboratory. Grace Hopper, the mother of computing. She worked at the Harvard Computation Lab as part of the Navy Reserve programming, the Mark I computer that brought speed and accuracy to the military initiation. Adele Goldberg, she was responsible for Xerox at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center in 1970. Mary Ellen Wilkes, she was responsible for the Link computers. We are aware of almost everyone that I've talked about listed, but I would like to talk briefly about a couple of them. But before I do that, I'd like to give tribute to two special ladies. I would like to appreciate them and honor them. And the first lady I'll be talking about is the reason we're all here today on this platform. She carried for 9 months and nurtured a very special person who has gifted all of us brand ambassadors around the globe. Because of her, we can proudly say, indeed we are blessed and lucky, and we're all one happy family. And this person, ladies and gentlemen, join me in honoring none other than Mrs. Hasiba Mufareh, who is the mother of our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh. We salute and honor you today, ma'am. And then the second lady stays by the side of Mr. Mufareh, takes care of him and his two beautiful children, nurture them, supports him in all he does, including ONPASSIVE. Please, sisters and brothers, join me in appreciating and honoring our First Lady of ONPASSIVE, Mrs. Asmahan Mufareh, wife of Mr. Ash Mufareh. Okay, that is done. I had to do that. Being that the theme of this year is technology, I would like to talk about one special person in technology that I really admire so much, Dr. Ellen Ochoa. Who is Ellen Ochoa and how did she impact society? What are her... Ellen Ochoa was born on May 10th, 1958 in Los Angeles, California. No wonder I'm attracted to her. A May person like myself. She graduated from San Diego State University in 1980. She studied physics in college, but she was also interested in music and played the flute. She continued both her music and her science studies after college. Ochoa earned a master's degree and a doctorate from Stanford University in electrical engineering. She also played with the Stanford Symphony Orchestra. In graduate school, Ochoa concentrated on optics. What is optics? It's the study of how light behaves. She continued that work at Sandia National Laboratories in New Mexico. She helped create optical systems for recognizing objects. Later, she worked at the Ames Research Center designing computer systems. Ames is associated with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. All of her skills helped her gain admission to NASA's astronaut program in 1990. She became an astronaut in 1991. She flew on her first mission on the Space Shuttle Discovery 2 years later. By 2002, she had flown on 4 shuttle flights. On the shuttle, she oversaw experiments and operated a robotic arm to move other astronauts and equipment around. She spent 1,000 hours in space, and she conducted research on the Earth's ozone layer. Dr. Ochoa became the world's first Hispanic female when she served on the Discovery Space Shuttle in 1993. She became the first Hispanic director of the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. She has earned many awards, including but not limited the NASA Exceptional Service Medal in 1997, the Outstanding Leadership Medal in 1995. After her career as an astronaut, Dr. Ochoa continued to work for science agencies. She served as the director of the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas for several years. Later, she was the chair of the National Science Board. She often spoke to groups of students of all ages about her experiences as an astronaut and encouraged and motivated them. She said this to her students, I quote, "Education is what allows you to stand out." That's all for me today. Women celebrating women, in it to win it. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Sister Brigitte. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. That was awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I have learned over the years that one whose mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. That's by Rosa Parks. And Queen Toni is a business owner of the publishing company Diadem Literary Services. Who knew that? She has been in publishing for over 20 years and has been teaching business principles and applications for 15 years, I beg your pardon. She is on the board of Your Own Uniqueness Incorporation as a treasurer and as an administrative assistant to Dr. T. Queen Toni also teaches at Step Up program, which is also run by Dr. T. Please, let's welcome our one and only Queen, Dr. Toni. Queen Toni.
Hello, everyone.
Now, fire.
Yes, I was like the horse, just going.
Dr. T is our last presenter for the day, so please, let's give her our undivided attention.
Well, I chose to do my presentation on who we all think is a really wonderful lady. And I've known her for 18 years, and being a part of her organization, I've learned so much and been so encouraged, and I've seen some incredible things. And I just had to do my presentation on someone that is close to all of us and who we know. And I'm going to share my screen. The reason why is because she was last year the first named honoree of the Women History Month Game Changers Award. And it was on March 8th, which of course is International Women's Day. And rightfully so, because let me minimize this. Okay. She's an example of a strong woman. I didn't know her when she was going through her cancer ordeal, but of course she triumphed, and she's always testifying about how she went from a wheelchair to a walker, a cane, and I see her dancing all the time, showing off, and just love it. And Tunishai is a survivor of the 4th and last stage of Hodgkin's lymphoma. And after that ordeal, and if you ever get a chance to read her book, This is a Comma in Your Life, Not a Period, I have.
She explains you actually go through the whole ordeal with her. And I've told her many a time that she has this, God's blessed her with this anointing that when she speaks, she draws you out. You find out who you really are. And I've been in a lot of her meetings. Of course, she's an international transformational speaker. She's spoken in Nigeria, Africa, parts of the United States, and Canada. And these are just a few of the engagements and events that she's spoken at. And I have heard her, for example, I was at one event and she made the comment in the midst of her presentation that not only do you forgive when you've been hurt, not only do you forgive the person, but you forgive the situation. I had never heard anything like that. But as she explained, it makes sense because you can forgive a person, but go into a new relationship, and because something happens that's similar, and it doesn't have to be that person's personality, but because it's similar, we react as if it's the person that we allegedly had forgiven. So it was lots of things that she would minister, and God would use her mightily. These are a few of the events and shows. She's been on a number of radio shows and TV shows, and she shared a lot. And I've always been the one to hear the end results and the testimonies and things of that sort. And so in that organization, I started to learn that all of us have a purpose. And I've seen people who have come through the organization as members, and a lot of ladies are still members, and they're still growing, and they're still finding out new things to do things, new ways to do things, and new abilities. We started the Step Up Ladies and Youth program. We have the quarterly and women's empowerment events and Discovering You magazine. And as you can see, our kids and our ladies, and to the right of the screen are some of our members, and that's a Christmas party. But I'll tell you, and one of the funny stories is when the board meets and we get to talking about things that, are upcoming, and Dr. T will make the comment, well, I have an idea. God's been really placing on my heart. And I know all the board members are like, okay, here's a new thing coming up. And one of the board members had told me, she says, whenever you guys start talking about putting something into play, it's a done deal. It's going to happen. And that's what most people that come through have picked up from Dr. T. She is someone that you cannot be around unless you're growing. And me as a publisher, when we first met 18 years ago, I told her that I would help people prep their manuscripts for publication. I was not a publisher. And she, every once in a while she'd throw it out there. Well, Toni, you're a publisher. No, I'm not a publisher. And sure enough, and she says, I'll tell you what, I'll walk with you through this journey and we'll learn to do it together. And sure enough, after hanging out with Dr. T, I'm a publisher and have published a few books. And then we started partnering. She saw the need. A few of our Step Up ladies had started nonprofits. They in turn connected with other nonprofits and organizations. And here are a few that we have partnered with and connected with. And Foresters Financial was a nonprofit plus insurance company that does various outreach that we had participated in, and the same type of giving spirit that she has just infects everybody around her. And I'll tell you this, the moment we found out about ONPASSIVE, and we went on the site and got to looking at some of the products and everything, I got excited because she was excited. Oh, we could do this and we could do that. Oh yeah, we could use that. Oh, that would be wonderful. And I got excited because she was excited. And then I started dreaming. And that's the thing. You know, she's one of those that will get you to dream. And a lot of the ladies, I have seen people around her grow. And there have been people who have come through the organization, and she'll sit and she'll talk with them, and you should be, oh, that's really nice. Oh, you do jewelry. You should start a jewelry store or start a jewelry business. You're pretty good at that. And sure enough, they end up doing exactly, they're so encouraged. And then her example, when she says she's going to do something, it happens. And that example alone encourages and strengthens the women around her. And so we have connected with other organizations and shelters, and then her books. She's an author of 4 books, as you all know, and I've read them all. And I'll tell you, they're all life-changing. I have seen people read the Hugs book. One lady on the bus, she bought the book, read the book, and there were people in her life telling her what she couldn't do. And for a while, I didn't see her anymore. But when she would get on the bus, she was dressed in just regular clothes, jeans, a top, and a coat. And she was a care provider in homes. And she wanted to go for a job at Henry Ford Healthcare Center or hospital. So I didn't see her a while. And finally I saw her after maybe almost a year, and she came dressed up in like this suit with a beautiful winter coat, and her hair, she had cut her hair, and it was wonderful the way that she had it. And when she got off, instead of her getting off at this home that she was working at, she got off where the hospital was. And when she had first purchased the Hugs book, she was outlining right away. And I've seen there was the producer of her TV show, his daughter came down ill with a rare cancer. He bought the comma book, and they were able to know exactly what to do to keep her strong during her ordeal, to the point whereas the tumor shrunk so that they wouldn't have to do as major a surgery as they were supposed to. And they were talking about having to, I guess, crack bones or whatever that was. And they didn't have to do that. And the spirit in you, and taking control of your life from the inside out. And they're all really great books. And I always tell her that God penned those books, because when I read some of that information that comes from that, and I can honestly say God is truly using Dr. T, and she has a heart. She truly has a heart for people and to see them succeed. And I've seen her push people to do just that. And then when she had her TV show, and yours truly was one of her script writers, and that was a lot of fun too. And she had touched on topics like the glycogen storage disease on Daphne's cause. And a lot of people hadn't heard of that. And a lot of people thought that they were hyperglycemic, and they couldn't seem to get a handle on that. And when they viewed the show, they went back to their doctor and come to find out they had glycogen storage disease. And then they were able to treat it and get better. People who went through cancer watched the show Cancer, How Did I Get It? And they had a better understanding. And then people who grew up in the home without a father we aired that show, Life Without Dad. And they learned a lot of things, and the the emotion, the emotion that comes with it and how to deal with that. And, I truly thank God for Dr. T. And what we didn't find out until the show had aired a while was that Dr. T was actually the first Black woman to have her own TV show on WADL. And that was incredible. And she had a great following, I should say, on that show. And I would sit with a neighbor to watch her show. And at the end, she would have these words of inspiration. And I was having tea with a neighbor watching her show. And when that part of the show was getting ready to come on, she shushed me. Wait a minute, I got to get my words. And sure enough, they would be really encouraging and uplifting, and it would just get you going, and God was known to do that. And then, of course, she has received a number of awards, but I decided to just display these two: the Testimony and Resolution Award from the City of Detroit, and the Woman of the Year Award from the National Association of Professional Women, which was in 2010, 2011. And so, and that's the end of my presentation, but I really appreciate being a part of her organization, Dr. T's organization. And like I said, I've learned a lot, and just being around her. And I will say this too, when we first met 18 years ago, before we met, I was attending my church. I was going to work, I was going to work and trying to raise my son. And in all the years that I worked, and in all the years that I was going to church, I never had anyone ask me, so what's your purpose? And it kind of floored me, threw me off, because I'm like, purpose? And she was the first to even ask me, so what's your purpose? Everyone on earth has a purpose. So what's yours? And I could not answer that. I had to really think about it. And in one of her messages that she had ministered not too long ago, in fact, just a couple weeks ago, there was a phrase that she had brought forth, and it was, for such a time as this. And I told her that message kind of, hit me like a ton of bricks, because we look at all of our abilities, and we look at all of our experiences, and a lot of times we just count them as just that. But just like the characters that were expressed in her presentation, Esther and Rahab and I lost track of the third person, but those three, Mary, because they realized that who they were, what they could do, and who they've become, it was for such a time as what they were called to do. And that is, I think, the thrust of Dr. Ford. And I really appreciate her. And I just had to do this presentation in her behalf. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed everyone else's as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Queen Toni. All the presenters, you all nailed it. Queen Toni was the last presenter for the night. And I want to thank you in no particular order. Queen Lerato had to leave because it's her and Queen Yasmin, because, oh, Queen Yasmin is still here. All right, you're still hanging there. You are a tough one. Queen Lerato had to leave because of the time difference, and she's a little under the weather, but because of her dedication, she had to be here with us. So I thank Queen Lerato, Queen Yasmin, the presenters for today, Queen Brigitte, Queen Toni, Queen Dr. T, and Queen Irene. Queen Miriam had to do the other presentation. And please, I want to thank you one more time. We are so honored to celebrate this International Women's Month together. And we thank all the guests who are here. I see so many guests who haven't been with us before. I saw our brother, Engineer Mike. I saw Queen Sister Ivy Mix and a lot of Queen Verona as well. A lot of people, including our brothers.
ONPASSIVE, the future of Internet.